Have you thought about making your own reversible swimsuit? Well, let me show you how. I recently made two different swimsuits, two different reversible swimsuits. This one right here, which is my Sharon swimsuit, that's yellow on one side and blue on the other. And this one, which is my Minute Mayo swimsuit, that is black on one side and red on the other. And let me tell you, making a reversible swimsuit is not as hard as you might think it is. Let me just show you how to do this thing real quick. Okay, so let's talk needles now. Now I have two different types of needles that you can use for stretchy fabrics. I have this stretch needle and this jersey needle. Now for my swimsuit, because it has a lot of spandex in it, it's super stretchy, I'm going to use a stretch needle. I actually think that this is going to work out the best. If I were just using like a stretchy type of jersey, I would use this one. This is good for knitted fabrics in general. But this one, if you look at the back, it says that you can use it for highly elastic knitwear, which is actually what I'm working with right now. So I'm going to use the stretch ones. And actually, I really kind of wish I had a size in between, but because I don't, I'm going to go with this one right here, which is 90-14. And if I have any problems with that, I'll go ahead and I'll size down to this one. By the way, the best tip that I have for you when purchasing these needles and thread, you check out Wawak, that's W-A-W-A-K. They have the best pricing that I've found. So if you know of a different place that has similar or better pricing, let me know. But so far, they beat everything hands down. Okay, so this is the back of my swimsuit piece. So now what I need to do is I need to attach the front at the shoulders. So I'm going to grab my front piece here and I'm going to line it up. That's the bottom. Here we go. So I'm going to line them up, right sides facing each other, like that. And then I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance in a zigzag stitch across the shoulders. And I'll do that with both this one and my blue pieces. So now we're going to attach both of the pieces together. So I'm going to attach my blue to my yellow, and we're going to start at this neckline, right? So what I have here are my pieces right side up, well, my yellow piece right side up. I'm going to put my blue one over the top of this so that the right side is facing the right side of the yellow. Okay, so I've clipped my edges together, making sure that I lined up my shoulder seams and that back seam right there by the butt. And I'm going to go ahead and use the same zigzag stitch I've been using on everything else to put this one together. Okay, so now that we've finished the neckline as well as attached the elastic, we are going to burrito roll one of these shoulder seams. So open up the side. And then roll this as small as you can get it. And we are going to put it in the middle here. And you see, I have both of my arms coming out of the armholes here. So I have my right sides coming out. We are going to attach at the middle. Attach. The right sides together. All the way along this curve. So this is what it's going to look like after you've attached it. In the middle here, you have your tube of fabric that's all rolled up. We are going to sew from one side to the other, making sure not to catch the fabric that's bunched up in the middle here. And then after we've sewn that up, we're going to attach our elastic. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it's all closed up. Now what you want to do is grab the inside layer here. See that? And just pull them out. Okay, so now you see we've got one shoulder that is right sides out, and we have one that still needs done. So we're going to burrito roll this side as well. To burrito roll the other side, we're basically going to do the same thing. So you want to take your fabric and you want to make sure, first off, that the right side is facing up. You want this facing you. Find all your edges. Remember, edges inside the neck hole. Roll this side into the middle like this. Match up those shoulder seams. So if the right sides are facing, do the edges. And then pin all the way around the edges with as many as you'd like to just secure that fabric together. Make sure that you're not getting that middle fabric in there. Okay, sew along this side right here the same way we did the last one and attach your elastic. Okay, so here's the second tube. This is the arm/shoulder seam that we just did. Now we're going to flip this right side out. So let's grab that middle piece. Okay, so now we have our neck holes totally enclosed. Our swimsuit is flipped to the right side out, and you can see there's no raw edges, it's all encased. What we need to do now is actually attach the side seams together. So the way that we're going to do this is we're going to take one of these, and it needs to be right sides out. So I'm opening up my side seam here. So there's one of my side seams. And now I'm going to take the side seams from the other side, and I am going to match it up. I know it's really hard to tell here, but this is the back of my swimsuit right here. So both of these are the back ends. They're pinned to the front along the side seams, and I am going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way from one end to the other, and then I'm going to repeat on the other side. Okay, so we are getting there. Now we have our entire bottom piece open. So you can see the crotch seam is still open as well as the legs. So let's go ahead and close up the legs. At this point, go ahead and put your swimsuit on the side. So this is the butt, this is the front crotch, and we are going to have to burrito roll our leg seam. So go ahead and roll as far up as you can, grab that front, and then come underneath and grab the other side. Match up your seams and pin. And we're going to pin all the way along the front curve here. Now that we have our right sides facing each other, I'm going to go ahead and zigzag stitch this entire edge. from one end to the other, and then I'm going to apply elastic. Okay, so now you can see that I have stitched up that entire leg, and I've also attached my clear elastic. What I'm going to do now is I am going to flip my swimsuit so that it's right side out again. And you can see that this entire leg seam is enclosed. So that looks really good. Let's do it to the other side. I prefer to do this method where I do the leg seams first and then I close up the crotch because it's much easier to actually match up all of the different seams. When you close up the crotch and then do the circle, for me, it's much more difficult to deal with the shifting of the fabric. And so things just tend to shift around and the end product doesn't look as neat to me. And besides, most people are going to be looking at your crotch. So let's do the second leg. So now you see here, I have my right side facing me. I've got the 2 layers and then this is my enclosed one, right? So I'm just going to pull this down a little more so that way I can see what I'm doing. And just like we did before, roll up your swimsuit. Take that top layer, pull it over. Now reach under to the other unfinished side and match up those side seams. And now we are going to pin it all the way across like we did the other side. Okay, so this is what it looks like. We're going to sew from one end to the other, and then we are going to attach our elastic. Okay, so now you can see that I have my seam sewn. So I am going to come to the bigger opening that I have, which is the butt opening here, and I'm going to flip my swimsuit right side out. So you can see both of the leg seams are encased here with our side seams matched up as closely as possible anyways. Let me pull out this crotch seam. Here's the crotch and here's that back butt seam. Okay, so now we're gonna finish our crotch seam here. So I am going to fold under the butt part, the back part here, about 3/8 of an inch. And I'm going to clip it. This is just gonna help me to keep this where it needs to be. Now take your crotch piece right here and we're going to slip it right inside. Now this is where I'm actually going to go and grab my row pins. Pin through all of the different thicknesses, removing my clips. Oh, that came out a bit, hang on. And we can always readjust these, but we want to make sure that we're getting clear through all of the different sides. Okay, I'll fix that to make it a little more precise. Let's get this end in. Now I'm going to flip it over to make sure that I caught the other side. And you can see I actually did not. So I am going to readjust the pins so that way I make sure that I catch the blue side. Okay, I'm okay with where this is landing right now. I have my crotch seam pinned all the way across, and the pins go through on both sides here. Now I'm going to take this crotch seam and I'm going to zigzag stitch it all the way across using blue thread in my needle and my corresponding thread for this color in the bobbin. So this is what that zigzag seam looks like right there. So you can't really pick it up on that side. And then this is what it looks like on the reversed side. I'm not too worried about the zigzag stitching here at the crotch area because really no one's gonna be looking at you there. However, if that bothers you, you can always hand sew this together. And there you have it. You now have a reversible swimsuit. At this point, I'd like you to go back through and do top stitching all around every single one of these edges to keep these seams from flipping one way or the other. Okay, so after you've top stitched it, this is what it's gonna look like. I went ahead and did a zigzag top stitch. If you have a cover stitch, you can use that. But I wanted to make sure that I did finish this on my sewing machine just so that anyone could really do it. So here's a little tip for you. When I was top stitching, to avoid all of the nesting that happens over bulk areas, I did stop just short of those seams. So you can see here, I did stop short of that and then I picked up again. And then one other tip for you, take your time when you're top stitching because you can see here, the tension on that looks really nice on both sides. However, when I was rushing and I was sewing at a faster speed, I really had tension issues. So I'm gonna have to go back through and remove some of these bits and redo that top stitching. So make sure that you take your time when you're top stitching. But really, after that's said and done, give yourself a pat on the back because you now have a reversible swimsuit. So that's it. Now you know how to make your own reversible swimsuit, and I bet it was a lot simpler than what you had in mind. Well, if you enjoyed this video, you might actually enjoy following me on my entire swimsuit series. So I'm gonna put the playlist over here for you to check out. And until next time, I sincerely hope that you find joy and have a wonderful day. Bye.